You know, there was a time when food took effort. Your grandmother probably cooked like a magician, kneading dough with the strength of an Olympian, chopping vegetables with the precision of a samurai, and stirring the pot like she was casting a spell to keep the family together. Now, all we need is one thumb and a Wi-Fi signal. We've gone from handmade to handheld. Fast food, my friends, isn't just a menu option anymore, it's a mindset. We've become a society of speed eaters and even faster thinkers, if you can call what we're doing thinking. Somewhere along the way, we confused convenience with intelligence, as if being quick automatically made us clever. We want results faster than fries under a heat lamp, and patience has gone the way of the rotary phone. Think about it. We'll wait in line for 20 minutes at a drive-through, honking at the poor car in front of us because waiting an extra 3 minutes for a home-cooked meal feels like cruel and unusual punishment. We'll sip our extra-large soda, scroll through 3 social media apps, and complain about how slow the Wi-Fi is, all while the ketchup packet mocks us from the cup holder. But it's not just about the food, it's the philosophy baked into it. We've built a culture around shortcuts. Why read the book when you can skim the summary? Why have a conversation when you can send an emoji? Why reflect when you can react? We've replaced thoughtful engagement with fast consumption of calories, of content, of opinions. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to demonize the burger. The burger never hurt anyone, except maybe our cholesterol. I'm talking about what it represents, that irresistible craving for instant satisfaction. It's the same craving that drives us to watch shows, skip intros, and microwave pizza pockets at 2 a.m. because the oven takes too long. Our brains have become the new drive. Through lanes, ideas come in, half-baked thoughts go out. We're all guilty of it. How many of us have pretended to understand something after reading the title of an article, or worse, after seeing just one meme about it? We've developed what I like to call mental fast food. It's convenient, it's cheap, and it feels good in the moment. But it's not nourishing us, and you can see the results everywhere. We rush to judgment faster than we rush to lunch. We jump to conclusions without checking the ingredients. We assume, retweet, repost, and react. Without a moment's digestion, we're stuffing our minds with junk thoughts and then wondering why we feel intellectually bloated. It's not just individuals, it's the whole culture. Look at advertising from the early 2000s. Everything was quick, instant, or ready in 60 seconds. Even relationships started sounding like microwave instructions, ready in one swipe. The message was clear. If it's not easy, it's not worth your time. And if it takes time, it must be broken. But here's the thinkin'. Convenience is seductive. It's the smooth, talking salesperson of modern life. It tells us we're saving time, but somehow we always end up busier. It promises freedom, but we get stuck in cycles of scrolling, ordering, and refreshing. It's like we've put our brains on autopilot and handed the controls to the next pop-up notification. The danger isn't that we're eating too many fries, that we're thinking in fry-sized portions. Small, salty, and gone in a second. Deep thought used to be like a slow stew it simmered. It needed time to blend flavors, to grow richer with reflection. Now we're serving our ideas rare, straight off the grill of impulse. We used to debate ideas, now we just like them. We used to write letters, now we abbreviate our feelings. LOL, BRB, OMG, our conversations have become drive, through dialogue, fast, forgettable, and slightly greasy. And if we're honest, we kind of like it that way, because thinking deeply is hard work. It requires effort, patience, and sometimes uncomfortable silence. Silence, the horror, but the irony is, all this convenience has made us restless. The faster things get, the less satisfied we become. It's like ordering a value meal for the soul. It fills you up, but you're hungry again in an hour. We've been trained to expect everything on demand answers, entertainment, approval, and now we can't tell the difference between being informed and just being full. It's funny, though. We say we love fast, but we complain about traffic. We say we value time, yet we waste it faster than we can say extra ketchup, please. We're living in an age where waiting more than 10 seconds feels like an eternity, and heaven forbid the drive through ice cream machine is temporarily unavailable. Civilization teeters on the edge. Maybe that's why our conversations have started to sound like advertisements. Try the new opinion, now with extra outrage. We've turned discussions into sound bites and ideas into slogans. We don't explore, we consume. And once we've swallowed one point of view, we don't even check if it was cooked properly. So what happens when a fast food mindset meets our minds? We become, quite literally, a fast food nation of slow thinkers. Not because we can't think, but because we don't take the time to. We're too busy multitasking our way through life, feeding our attention span with bite-sized distractions. But every once in a while, something reminds us to slow down. A home, cooked meal, a deep conversation, an afternoon without notifications. It's like tasting real flavor after months of reheated leftovers. You realize how much you've been missing. Convenience isn't evil, it's just incomplete. It should serve us, not define us. We need balance. There's nothing wrong with a burger on the go, as long as we remember to chew on our thoughts too. Because real thinking, like real food, takes time, it's messy, it's unpredictable, and it doesn't always come with a shiny wrapper. So maybe the next time we pull up to the drive, through of our daily routines, we should pause. Ask ourselves, am I choosing this because it's easy, or because it's meaningful? Maybe it's time to trade our mental fast food for something homemade, something that nourishes instead of numbs. Because if we keep mistaking speed for wisdom, we might end up as the smartest species that never actually thinks. And honestly, that's one combo meal no one should order. Closing line, maybe it's time we stop supersizing our convenience and start savoring our what's funny about fast food. It always feels like a bargain. 2 cheeseburgers for the price of 1, fries for just a few extra cents, and hey, why not make it a combo? It's so cheap, it's practically free, except of course it isn't. The real price doesn't show up on the receipt. It's like buying happiness on sale, only to realize later that it came with hidden fees, interest, taxes, and maybe a side of existential regret. The thing about fast is that it always promises to save you something, time, money, effort, but somehow it ends up taking more than it gives. Fast food is the perfect example. It's convenient, sure, but what it really sells is the illusion of control. You pull up, place your order, and 30 seconds later, there's a smiling face handing you a paper bag full of comfort. No waiting, no work, no decisions beyond do you want fries with that. It's efficient, it's predictable, and it feels good until it doesn't. The hidden cost starts long before the first bite. There's the cost to our health, of course. The mysterious ingredients that sound like they belong in a science experiment rather than a sandwich. You ever read the label on a chicken nugget box? It's like a chemistry quiz you didn't study for, and yet we eat them anyway because they're quick, tasty, and shaped like childhood memories, but the cost goes deeper than what's on our plate. Fast food has trained us to expect everything in life to come the same way. Hot, fast, and perfectly packaged. We've taken that drive through attitude and applied it everywhere. We want fast success, fast love, fast followers. We want the rewards without the recipe. Why learn to cook when you can just order in? Why practice patience when you can click next? We've built an economy of shortcuts and called it progress, and boy, have we gotten creative with it. Fast fashion, fast dating, fast learning. Everything's got to move faster than our attention spans. We used to spend years mastering a skill. Now we want to learn guitar in a week or become fluent in Spanish by next Tuesday. We treat wisdom like it's downloadable content, and the result? We're overstimulated, undernourished, and constantly refreshing the metaphorical fries in our minds, hoping they'll come out crispier this time. But there's a cost to fast that we rarely admit, the cost of what we lose in the rush. When you make everything instant, you erase the joy of the process. Remember when cooking a meal meant chopping vegetables, setting the table, and waiting for the smell to fill the house? Now it's a race to see who can microwave faster without setting off the smoke alarm. We've become allergic to waiting, like patience is some outdated app we forgot to update. And that impatience, it's not just about food, it's about how we treat life. We want instant results from everything we touch. We measure progress by how quickly we can see it. We don't just want to succeed, we want to succeed now. But fast success, like fast food, doesn't always sit right. It's easy to digest in the moment, but long-term it leaves you feeling a little hollow. Even our relationships have caught the speed bug. We used to take time to know people, conversations over coffee, long walks, shared silences. Now we connect with a tap, like with a thumb, and unfriend with one decisive flick. It's emotional fast food, satisfying for a second, but it doesn't nourish the heart. Deep connection takes time, and time, apparently, is something we no longer have for anything that doesn't come with free refills. The irony, of course, is that fast food isn't really fast at all when you count the aftermath. It's quick in the moment, but slow to leave your system, slow to burn off, and even slower to forget when your genes suddenly develop an attitude. The same goes for the fast. In our culture, it promises ease but leaves behind clutter. Whether it's physical clutter in our homes or mental clutter in our minds, we're surrounded by leftovers of a lifestyle that moved too quickly to clean up after itself. And let's talk about value. We think fast equals cheap, but what we're really doing is paying later with interest. When you chase shortcuts, you often end up on detours. When you choose speed over care, you sacrifice depth. It's like driving so fast to save time that you end up lost and have to start over. We think we're saving minutes, but we're wasting meaning. The hidden cost of fast is also in how we treat ideas. We skim instead of study, react instead of reflect. The headlines get shorter, the opinions louder, and the thinking thinner. We're snacking on thoughts instead of sitting down for a full intellectual meal. And then we wonder why we feel anxious, restless, and unsatisfied. We've become mental grazers in a buffet of noise. You ever notice that the faster we move, the less we seem to enjoy anything? We gulp down coffee instead of sipping it, rush through conversations instead of savoring them, and brag about being busy like it's a badge of honor. Somewhere along the way, we equated being rushed with being important. I'm so busy, we say, like it's proof of our value, but if we're honest, most of us are just spinning through the drive-through of life, juggling paper bags of half-digested priorities, and there's something funny about that, funny in a slightly tragic way. We've built machines that can deliver pizza faster than we can decide what to watch while eating it. We can order anything from anywhere, but we can't order satisfaction. Because satisfaction doesn't come in 30 minutes or less. It comes from attention, care, and time. Things the fast food mindset has no patience for. Of course, we can't blame the burger entirely. It's not the burger's fault that we want the world in a paper bag, but it's a good reminder that every time we say yes to fast, we might be saying no to better. Better quality, better thinking, better living. Because the faster you go, the more you miss. The more you rush, the less you see. Life's details, like good seasoning, only reveal themselves slowly. Maybe we don't need to give up convenience completely. Just learn to use it wisely. There's nothing wrong with a drive. through meal when you're tired or in a hurry. The problem is when we make fast our default mode for everything. Fast food for the body, fast content for the mind, fast answers for the soul. At some point, something's got to slow down or we'll end up living our entire lives on shuffle. So, yes, fast has a hidden cost. It charges us interest in attention, taxes us in patience, and quietly bills us for the joy we didn't notice slipping away. But the good news is that we can still hit the brakes. We can choose to cook, to listen, to read the full story instead of just the headline. We can reclaim the slow parts of life that give it flavor. Because when everything's fast, nothing lasts. You know, after all this talk about how fast everything's gotten, our food, our thoughts, our scrolling fingers, you start to wonder, what's the rush anyway? Where exactly are we sprinting to? We've been promised that faster is better, that convenience is king, and that patience is for people who still use dial-up. Yet somehow, the faster we go, the less we seem to enjoy the ride. It's like we're all on an express train to somewhere important, but nobody remembers what station we were supposed to get off at. Reclaiming the slow mind said isn't about turning back time, it's about turning down the volume. It's giving your brain a chance to breathe before your next mental drive, through order, because let's face it, we've become a culture allergic to stillness. The idea of doing nothing for 5 minutes feels like a technical glitch. The moment there's silence, we panic. Quick, check something. We pull out our phones like cowboys reaching for their six-shooters, except instead of a duel, we're fighting boredom. But here's the twist. Boredom is actually the secret ingredient to creativity. Some of the best ideas in history came from people staring out windows or doodling on napkins. Now, we can't even stare at the microwave for 30 seconds without needing a distraction. We've become so addicted to instant everything that even our thoughts want to skip the buffering time. You remember when Sunday afternoons used to feel like an eternity, when there was nothing to do but lie on the couch, listen to the ceiling fan hum, and occasionally argue about whose turn it was to make tea. That was the slow mindset in action. We didn't call it mindfulness back then. It was just being bored. But in that boredom our minds wandered, connected dots, and daydreamed their way into new ideas. We didn't know it, but we were letting our brains marinate. Somewhere between the first smartphone and the last fast food ad that said now even faster, we lost that skill. We started treating slowness like a flaw. If someone takes too long to reply to a message, we assume they've moved to another planet. If a video takes more than 3 seconds to load, we sigh dramatically as if we're trapped in the Stone Age. The irony, all this speed has made us slower thinkers. We react instantly but reflect rarely. It's like we're sprinting through life in mental flop, loud, clumsy, and not going very far. But reclaiming the slow mind said doesn't mean you have to live in a cabin eating kale chips and quoting philosophers. It just means learning to pause again, to let moments linger, to taste your coffee instead of inhaling it between calendar reminders. It means saying, no thanks, I don't need everything right now. Because when you stop rushing, life suddenly tastes better. Kind of like when you realize that the fries are best when they're eaten slowly, one at a time, instead of by the handful in a parking lot. It also means listening again, really listening, not just nodding while waiting for your turn to talk. We've gotten used to conversations like tennis matches, quick volleys, no depth, points scored for who sounds cleverest. But the slow mindset invites us to listen the way we'd savor a home-cooked meal, with patience, curiosity, and maybe a napkin ready for the messy parts, because that's where understanding lives, in the spaces between words, not in the speed of replies. Think of your mind like a kitchen. If you keep throwing in new ingredients, notifications, opinions, memes, without giving anything time to cook. All you end up with is noise. But if you slow down, simmer your thoughts, let them blend and bubble, you get wisdom. And wisdom, unlike instant noodles, can't be microwaved. It takes time, seasoning, and a few failed recipes before it tastes right. And let's not forget the physical side of slowness. You ever notice how meals taste better when shared slowly? There's something magical about taking your time, chewing, talking, laughing, letting the meal stretch into stories. Compare that to the average fast food experience, one hand on the burger, one hand on the steering wheel, and mustard on your shirt. The slow mindset invites you to bring back the table, the talk, the taste. It's not just about food, it's about presence. Presence has become the rarest luxury of all. We're so busy capturing moments that we forget to live them. We photograph our meals before we eat them, record concerts instead of listening, and check maps while we're already lost. It's like we've outsourced our experiences to our devices, but the slow mindset whispers, put it down, look around. The world's still happening. It's just waiting for you to notice. The beauty of slowing down is that it doesn't take a big lifestyle change. You don't need to join a monastery or start a silent retreat in your living room. It can start small. Take a walk without headphones, eat without a screen, let yourself get bored on purpose, listen to the sound of your own thoughts without immediately trying to fix them. You'll be surprised how quickly life starts to feel more alive when you stop trying to fast forward it. Even work changes when we slow down. We've glorified being busy for so long that I'm swamped has become a form of humble brag, but being constantly busy isn't the same as being productive. It's just being noisy. The slow mindset allows for focus, for doing one thing well instead of 5 things poorly. It's like cooking a single great dish instead of juggling a buffet that burns halfway through. You can still hustle, but let it be a graceful hustle, not a panicked sprint. And don't worry, slowing down won't make you lazy, it'll make you smarter, because when you slow down you actually start to see connections between people, between ideas, between the things that truly matter. You start realizing that most of what felt urgent wasn't important, and most of what was important was quietly waiting for you to notice. It's like realizing you've been speeding past your favorite view every day and finally deciding to pull over. The slow mindset isn't nostalgia, it's clarity. It's remembering that the best things in life, friendships, understanding, love, even a good sandwich, don't come from the express lane. They take time, care, and a little patience to build. Fast might win races, but slow wins meaning. And meaning, my friends, is the ultimate full-course meal. So maybe the real revolution isn't about going faster, but about daring to go slow in a world that won't stop spinning. To walk when others run, to think when others react, to breathe when everything else says rush. Because slowing down doesn't mean falling behind. It means catching up to yourself. And that, truly, is the most delicious kind of progress there is.